Oh, come on, what is happening? This is the effect we are going to create today. Hello everyone, it's me Didi again and I welcome you all to yet another design video from Dexplorion where I try to create something new and artsy and share my design process in Photoshop, and along the way we discuss various tools, techniques and tips and tricks which can improve your workflow and level up your graphic design game. The double exposure glitch effect is a striking visual style that blends two images into one while introducing a digital distortion to give it an edgy modern feel. It combines the storytelling depth of double exposure where one subject is layered with textures, landscapes or silhouettes with the chaotic energy of glitch effects like RGB splits, scan lines or pixel shift. The result is a composition that feels both dreamlike and disrupted, perfect for conveying themes like identity, conflict, technology or fractured reality. It's widely used in posters, album arts or cinematic edits to create a bold, futuristic aesthetics that instantly grabs attention. And for grabbing that attention, we have to go to the screen and start doing our thing. So first thing first, we're gonna create the canvas and bring in the image and place it onto the canvas, and then we'll resize and position it according to the layout we have in mind. Most people think great design is about effects, colors or fonts, but the real magic lies in the layout. Layout is what gives your design direction. It decides what your audience sees first, what they focus on, and how they experience your entire composition. A strong design creates hierarchy, guiding the eyes naturally. It improves readability, making the simplest of message feels powerful and clear. And with the right balance and spacing, it transforms chaos into something visually satisfying. But here's a real game changer. Layout controls emotions. A clean open layout can feel calm and cinematic, while a tight crowded one can create tension and intensity. So before you add effects or experiment with style, focus on your layout. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about how your design looks, it's about how it feels, flows and communicates. And now back to the canvas. To make a selection of the subject, we will be working with the magnetic lasso tool. Working with this tool is pretty simple. We have to click at the starting point and then move the cursor along the edges of our subject, and it will automatically keep on adding the anchor points. If you accidentally lost the way, don't worry, you won't have to start all over. Just move back the cursor in the reverse direction and keep clicking the backspace key to go back to the point you want and continue your path. I wonder if we had such an option with our lives also. There may be some points where you won't find a clear demarcation of the edges, like in here. There we have to place the anchor points manually by clicking. And now we go back all the way to the starting point and click on the starting anchor to close and activate the selection. Pretty good. And now we click here to add the layer mask. But it's just the opposite of what we wanted. So we'll have to make sure the layer mask is selected, and we're gonna press Ctrl Command I to invert the selection, and we have our subject. Then we're gonna refine the mask in some places by taking the brush tool, making it smaller by pressing the left square bracket key. Right click to open the brush settings and select the hard round brush. Make sure the foreground color is black, and we'll start painting over the areas to hide them behind the mask. To do the reverse, that is to make some areas visible, we have to change the foreground color to white by pressing the X key and then paint over the area. Repeat the process till you are satisfied. I'm going to add a background, and for doing that, we'll click here to add a solid color adjustment layer, make it white and place it below our subject layer. And now we're gonna bring in the second image and drop it onto the canvas. As per the layout, the image is not aligned. It has to be the other way around, and for doing that, keeping the transform tool active, we'll right click on the image and then click on flip horizontal, and it will be done. As you know, we'll be creating a double exposure effect. We have to align both our images with each other, and to carry on with that process, we'll first bring down the opacity of the top image layer so that we can see where we are going, and then position it as we want. I'm going to keep it like this and bring the opacity of the layer back to 100%. Before proceeding, let's rename the layer as forest, and this is gonna be our subject. After that, we have to make a copy of the forest layer by pressing Ctrl Command J and turn off the visibility of the forest copy layer for the time being. Add a layer mask to the forest layer and again take the brush tool. This time make the brush bigger by pressing the right square bracket key And now we will be using the soft round brush. Make sure the foreground color is black and we're gonna mask out the areas from the left side of the subject like this. When needed, make the brush smaller. To make the fading gradual, we have to reduce the flow, maybe about 30%, and continue doing the process. I'm done here, and in the next step we're gonna add the glitch. But before that, if I was able to create some glitch in your artistic matrix, of course in a good way, then I would request you to hit the like button. And if you're interested in more such contents, then consider subscribing and do not forget to press that bell icon so that you get notified of all my future videos. Now coming back, we're gonna turn on the visibility of the forest copy layer and then go to the filter menu, then distort and click on wave. First, we'll get the number of generators, which we'll be setting it in the range of 10 to 20. Then we have all these sliders of wavelength, amplitude and scale, which we'll be playing with in a moment. But before that, make sure the type is set to square. And we're gonna hit OK, and this is what we get. Now it's time for some trials and errors until we reach the perfect point and get what we want. No set rules here, just pure experimentation. This is fine with me. We'll again add a layer mask to this layer as well, and we're gonna fill it with black so that everything is behind the mask. And to do that, since black is our foreground color, we're gonna press Ctrl or Command backspace and it's done. Then we again take the brush tool, set the flow to around 30%, change the foreground color to white by pressing the X key, and we're gonna make some strokes like this to reveal the glitch. I'm doing it my way, you can do it however you like. I'll stop here and let's rename this layer as glitch. If you're satisfied with the results, then you can stop here, but I'm going to carry it a little further. For that, we'll make a copy of the glitch layer and convert this into a smart object, rename it as glitch color, and again make a copy of the same. Now the fun part, we'll double click on the blank space of the glitch color layer to open the layer style dialog box, and we'll work on the channel sections here. You can click on these checkboxes to turn on and off the red, green and blue channels and play with different permutations and combinations to give the glitch a color. Not very prominent? Don't worry, we just have to click on the left or right arrow keys to move the layer a little, and that's it. We're gonna do the same with the glitch copy layer as well, but the channels will be different. And this time move it to the opposite direction of the glitch color layer. All done. Now we'll select both the glitch color layers and press Ctrl or Command G to group them together and rename it. Finally, I'm going to add a layer mask to the glitch color group. Again, take the brush tool and this time select the hard round brush and move the brush horizontally straight to create an effect like this. If you are having trouble making straight strokes, then I have a trick for you. While making the brush stroke, just hold the shift key and your brush will move in a perfectly straight line. I'm done with the composition, and now it's time for some text to give it the form of a poster. For that, we'll take the text tool and click anywhere on the canvas, type in what we want. For the main text, I am using a font called Stacks and Snotch. Make a copy of it by holding the Alt or Option key, click and drag, and then double click to edit it. I'm going to add a paragraph here, and for that I'll take the rectangle tool, draw a rectangle like this, fill and strokes will be none. Again take the text tool and bring the cursor inside the rectangle, and we can notice the cursor is changed, and if we click here, the whole text will stay inside the box like a paragraph. Now you can either type it what you want or copy the text from somewhere else and paste it here. Neat, isn't it? Now with just a little refining, we have our poster for today. Thanks for staying till the end, and I hope you found what you came looking for and I was able to show you something new. My comment box is always open to your suggestions and I always try to respond to them. I'm available on Pinterest and Instagram. You can also connect with me there. I've already started working on my next project and I'll be back soon with a new video. Till then, if you are looking for some more creative effects, these are a couple of videos you can watch.